Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone, and enough respect to the brothers out there pushing and spreading the gospel of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, to the folk of the world. Now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I just want to do a quick lesson on this article, a follow-up to the meeting between Ukraine and America. You had there was a meeting that involved Volodymyr Zelensky, Donald Trump, and J.D. Vance in the Oval Office, and pretty much the whole meeting was streamed live. And I think I even shared a video the day before making this video, last night, showing how intense that whole meeting played out. And this is pretty much a testament to Amos chapter 3, verse 6, where it talks about, shall there be a trumpet blown in the city, and shall there be war in the city that the Lord had not done. So you have it to where these men, as smart as they have proclaimed themselves to be, with all their riches, with all the power that they have, they are unable to create peace. They are unable to enjoy the fatness of the earth. They keep finding themselves fighting each other. And that's because it is time for the Lord to take away the blessing that he gave unto them, right? The blessing of them living by the sword, okay? And the blessing of them living on the fatness of the earth. It is time, they have ended. It's time for their control over the world, pursuant to Job 9:24, over. That transition of power needs to happen immediately. And so the Lord has it to where these nations, they keep finding themselves, beginning to do things with the intention of peace, all of a sudden for things to blow up. Now, previously, Zelensky went over there to sign a mineral deal, so that the ceasefire could begin. But when he went to the White House, it turned into an argument, and eventually Donald Trump kicked him out. He said, nah, we ain't doing this. We're not signing a mineral deal, and he sent him back. And so he gives him an ultimatum that immediately he must sign a ceaseover or he should lose American support. And the way Trump had it, the way Trump worded it, it seemed as though they may even lose Europe's support, because Europe ain't willing, or they're not pretty much ready to separate themselves from America right now. But what this makes the United States look like, it makes them look like, they are not, they are not fit to be world police. They're not fit to be leaders of the free world. It seems as though Russia is winning. It seems as though the place of safety, the place of strength, or those that embodies perseverance is Russia and the nations that are with Russia. And these nations are seeing it right now, okay? But pretty much the reason Volodymyr Zelensky got angry was because he says that things like this have happened before. Russia has invaded before in 2014. They came in and they took Crimea, and nobody did anything about it. All they did was sign a peace, a ceasefire. And as soon as the ceasefire was done, Putin started a war. And then he says when a treaty was signed for prisoner exchange, Putin didn't exchange his prisoners. So he's saying that there's history. He knows the history of Russia, and so he needs some sort of security guarantee. But he keeps saying that, and it's vague, and nobody really knows how to secure that, because security guarantee, for you to really promise that someone would never be a threat, is for you to eliminate them. And that's why Trump even said in a video that you're playing with World War III. You're playing around with World War III, and it's very spiritual that he said that, because the moment America and Russia clashes, that is in fact World War III. Okay, so it says President Donald Trump berated Ukrainian President Vladimir Putin for being disrespectful Friday in an extraordinarily Oval Office meeting that abruptly called off the signing of a mineral deal that Trump said would have moved Ukraine closer to ending its war with Russia. Right, because this deal was to secure U.S. as an ally. Right, they would start a project that will generate money. America will keep half of the money. Ukraine will keep half of the money, and they would use some of that money for defense for Ukraine. But nothing ended up happening. Hey, this man's pride got to him. To be honest, he was supposed to humble himself, but he didn't. Vladimir Zelensky. He went over there to another man's country, into the Oval Office, and then they started arguing back. Okay, um, which I think it's because of the camera. If he had, if the meeting was done behind doors, I think he would have humbled himself, but he couldn't afford to look like he was in desperate need of U.S. help with the Russians watching. Well, then the negotiation would go would not go very well. It says the astonishing turn of events could scramble affairs in Europe and around the globe. During his visit with Trump, Zelensky was expected to sign the deal allowing the United States greater access to Ukraine's rare earth and hold a joint news conference, but that plan was scrapped after the heated engagement between the leaders in front of the news media. It's unclear what the blowup could mean for the deal that Trump insisted was essential to paying the United States for more than 180 billion in American aid sent to Kiev since the start of the war. And it remains to be seen what, if anything, Trump wants Zelensky to do to get the deal back on track. The Ukrainian leader was asked to leave the White House by the top Donald Trump advisor shortly after Trump shouted at him, showing open disdain. You are gambling with WW3, and what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country that's backed you far more than a lot of people say they should have, Trump told Zelensky. The last 10 minutes of the early 45-minute meeting devolved into an intense back and forth between Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance and Zelensky, who had urged skepticism about Russia's commitment to diplomacy, citing Moscow's years of broken commitment on a globe stage. Right, and this is Gog and Magog they have a habit of doing it. The book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, he shall put hooks in their jaws, and they shall go and take spoils, right? So the Lord has put in the spirit of violence. They are not a peaceful people to be around. That's who Russia is, and that's the spirit that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai has put into them. And this bullying mentality would evolve from small countries, right? And it's even evolved from small countries, from countries in the Middle East, third world countries, Afghanistan. It's evolved into, and it keeps going up and up and up, and now it's evolving to Ukraine. Well, who's to say after Ukraine it's not going to evolve into nations in NATO, and then it's not going to evolve into Amalek, and then it's going to be at odds with America. Because you have Russia that people have seen what they represent. They represent strength. You had the whole world put sanctions on them. You had the whole world condemn them, cut off aid, and they still did all this, and they still came out on top. It says Zelensky's main objective going into the sit-down had been to press Trump not to abandon his country and warn against moving too close to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Instead, he got shouted at while Trump appeared to play up the drama for the camera, yeah, right? Because Trump is not afraid to get down and dirty. He's not a fucking, so he's not a sophisticated guy. If you shout at him, he will shout back. If you try to embarrass him, he's not gonna be like, yo, in the name of my image. Nah, he's gonna get down and dirty with you. And this man should have known that before he came to the White House. He should have watched the um, what's the presidential debate. He's not afraid to pull his punches. So it says his main objective was to go in and pretty much talk smack and bait them, guilt trip them into supporting Ukraine. But none of that shit happened. The opposite happened, as a matter of fact. So, says at one point Zelensky said Putin had broken his own signature 25 times on ceasefire and other agreements that could not be trusted. Trump responded that Putin had not broken agreements with him and ducked questions about offering security guarantees to Ukraine, saying he thought the mine deal, which is now on hold, will effectively end the fighting. It says, things first got testy after Vance challenged Zelensky, telling him, Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Zelensky tried to object, prompting Trump to raise his voice and say, you're gambling with the lives of millions of people. At another point, Trump declared himself in the middle and not on the side of either Ukraine or Russia in the conflict. He went on to deride Zelensky's hatred for putting Putin on a roadblock to peace. You see the hatred he's got for Putin, Trump said. That's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. This is AP Washington correspondent. Salakia. Right, it says Trump later told reporters shortly before departing for his Mar-a-Lago resort in South Florida for the weekend that he wanted an immediate ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, but expressed doubt that Zelensky was ready to make peace. Let me see. I want to get to the point. Look at this. Former President Joe Biden had also grown frustrated at moments with Zelensky for being insufficiently grateful of American support, according to former administration officials. But unlike Trump, Biden expresses displeasure with Zelensky privately. Hey, man. And these Ukrainians are also fucking Edomites. So the scripture talks about a pride man being hated of both God and men. So even they don't like their own pride. But the Lord has caused all sorts of turmoil to collapse, Esau's system. And we're seeing the kingdom being closer and closer and closer. We're seeing the stage being prepared for World War III. The intentions are there, man. The only thing you're hearing right now, it's the words are, peace, peace, let's make peace, let's prevent this, let's do security. But the intentions are war, all right? So let me see if I can get anything else. It says Trump also suggested that Zelensky should not be demanding concessions. You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now, Trump said, pointing his finger towards Zelensky. Shortly before the meeting ended, Trump said, this is going to be great television. So Trump ended the meeting. The signing didn't go on. It says as Ukrainian forces hold out against slow but steady advances by Russia's larger and better equipped army, leaders in Kiev have sought to ensure any potential U.S. brokered peace plan will include guarantees for the country's future. Hey, yeah, this secured, this guarantee that they're looking for, it's not as easy as it sounds. Let me just put it that way. So, and they want their territories back, but Russia said they're not giving it back. So, there's a lot of things going on in this world. Only a fool and a blind man would accuse the Most High of being idle. When you are informed and you are alert, you ought to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for making us glad, for adding on to our faith with all these things that are playing off in the world right now. So the people that are leaving the truth, the people that are getting impatient are those that are foolish, right? They are they're not alert and they're not informed. But that's why the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, talks about it's no need for him to tell you brothers. Let me get it right now. 1 Thessalonians. Yeah, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall share peace and safety." Right, so for those who know of the times and the seasons, for those that are of children of the light, we live our life as though it's daytime. And what do you do at daytime? You don't be sleeping at daytime. You are alert. So that's why the day of the Lord is not going to sneak upon us. Every time we see things coming, we know the Lord has inched his way closer and closer to this world. But to the people that ain't watching, the people that are not knowledgeable of the prophecies, that don't know that the Spirit isn't dealing with them, they feel as though it's not even going to show up. All right? It says, "For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of the light, and the Scriptures has enlightened us. And the children of the day, we are not in darkness, nor of darkness." And then another way to interpret that is the book of Job, the 2nd chapter, where it says about the day of the Lord is darkness and gloominess. The day of the Lord is darkness and gloominess to certain people. But we who are enlightened by the Scriptures, instead of darkness and gloominess, the Lord will have better days, bright days, right? And we will escape the perils that he's bringing upon this place. So, children of light, meaning our mentality, how we are educated in the Spirit, and how we shall be delivered from the evil days that are coming. So I hope this was edifying. Shalom, Yahweh, Shemishah, Brakatham, to all you Akims and Akwifs that are listening in truth as sincerity. May the blessing of Allah be upon the house, and may the Lord speedily deliver us, and bring the destruction upon his place, so that the kingdom of heaven may be established, and true everlasting peace should be witnessed. So with that, Shalom, Yahweh, Shemishah, Brakatham.